अच्छा सॉरी।
पूरा
अच्छा
खराब हो गया।
अच्छा।
तो चार्जर कहाँ है अभी लगाने का?
अरे नकल। ये चार्जर कौन काय को आकटा के इधर चला गया काय को? बोल बोल भाई।
चला गया वही चार्जर। ऐसा नहीं होता रे भाई। 11:30 को मैच शुरू होगा।
हाँ तो बिना हो जाता। तो बोल रहा हूँ लिखो। मनीष पाठक। मनीष पाठक 72
डाल भाई, डाल के देखते हैं
अरे
जरा।
दादा भाई ये क्या भाई अच्छा टॉस डाला है। Oh, that's a full toss straight to the fielder. The fielder wasn't ready. It went straight to him. Winston had to move an inch, but that one was struck very, very hard.
It went straight to him, फिर भी बैगन में मिला के गया। दिमाग की है थोड़ी। a single coming off that one. A super over from Channa Rao. But Codearth still in a very strong and a commanding position. They are 41 without any loss after 4. First change in the bowling attack. Vinu now into the attack. Another right arm pacer coming over the wicket. Vinu starts off with a short delivery that came high on the bat, but will go for a boundary. Well, these days
Oh, that one
bats
was
are
very
built very strong.
couldn't stop that
Vinu
one
there
from
banged into the surface. Well, Manish Patak
getting inside to entry now.
slaps him straight down the ground, doesn't get it out of the middle, but still good enough for a boundary. Well, an over starts off with a 4. This is good attacking stuff from Manish Patak. Well, was there an outside edge? Yes, it is. Vinu gets the last laugh, gets rid of Manish Patak. A dangerous batter dismissed. Once again looking to drive through the covers. Hint of away movement. Takes the outside edge,
Of the backward and
held the
entering
edge,
again.
and carries nicely to the wicketkeeper Gabbar, who makes no mistake. So Codearth lose the very first
In favor of the
in the
Bangladesh
fifth over, and PP developers draw first blood in the all important semi final. 45 for 1 after 4.2. Codearth. New batter in is Preet Singh. Barinder Preet Singh in at number 3 for Codearth. 261 matches for Singh. 5,786 runs, averaging just under 29, strike rate of 133.7 for Barinder Preet Singh. He's in at number 3. Will face Vinu, who's got a wicket. His tail will be up. He's got a wicket of dangerous batter Manish Patak. Well, that's an excellent bumper. Barinder Preet on to pull, gets a leading edge and an easy catch for the gubber behind the timber, who makes no mistakes. That will be a second catch and a very soft dismissal for Barinder Preet. Hurried him for the pace on that occasion, looking to pull, but was very late on that shot. Bat ball hitting the maker sticker on the bat and ballooned in the air. An easy catch for the wicket keeper. Second one bites the dust. Two in a row, back to back wickets for Venu. Seeing the man dismissed for a golden duck. He doesn't bother troubling the scorers. Well, PP developers right back into the match with that wicket. New batter in is Mohan Maheshwari. 231 matches for Mohan Maheshwari, 8,078 runs, averaging 23.21, strike rate 132.51 for Mohan Maheshwari. A very good batter in at number 4. But Vinu is on a hat trick. Hat trick ball goes full, tried to attack that stumps Vinu, but Mohan Maheshwari does well, clips it nicely in the square leg for a single, gets himself off the mark and keeps out the hat trick ball as well. Himanshu and Mohan Maheshwari, two very capable batters at the top for Codearth. They need to stitch in a partnership. They have lost couple of wickets in a quick succession. In fact, in a very over, first Manish Patak, then Singh dismissed for not. So they need to bat cautiously for couple of overs here from here on. Another short ball into the surface. This time Himanshu does well, gets on the top of the bounce and keeps it down all along the carpet for a single down to square leg. This is excellent stuff from Vinu. He's got the pace and he's troubling the batters with that one. Last ball of the over. Once again banged into the surface. That ball comfortably carried to the short third who puts it down. You cannot get a catch much easier than that. Maheshwari gets a lifeline early on the innings. 6 runs and a couple of wickets and an opportunity gone down, all happening in the very over. An excellent over from Vinu. After 5, Codearth 47 for the loss of 2. Shapur Srikanth now into the attack to ball the final over of the power play. 384 matches for Srikanth, 428 wickets, economy 7.17, best figures of 5 for 6 for Srikanth. Starts off with a dot delivery, length delivery outside off stump. Himanshu happy to let it go through. Sweeper cover and long off out on the boundary for Himanshu. Srikanth. Well, that's in the air. Fielder coming underneath. Just short of him. Well, there was fielder there in the deep for that sort of shot. But still, Himanshu going after that one. Fortunate for him that the timing was so bad that it doesn't even carry to the charging infielder. That's a single. Mohan Maheshwari looking to punch off the back foot. Gets beaten on the outside edge. Well, this is excellent comeback from PP developers. Codearth started off nicely, but they have lost 2 wickets in the same over. So they are pushed back on the back foot. Well, this time plays late. Does he get in the gap? But no, he doesn't. Good fielding in the gully, but a good running between the wicket. These two are quick between the wickets, so completes the single with ease. Score moves to 49. 49 for the loss of 2 after 5.4. Well, they have got 40 in first 3 overs. Now in next 2.4 overs, they have lost 2 wickets and only managed 9 on the board. Talk about comeback, take a bow. Once again, swing and a miss. Himanshu this time looking to go over extra cover. Misses a very straight delivery. Excellent comeback from PP developers. So that's a dot ball. Only 2 runs so far of the over. Last ball of the power play. Srikanth will be bowling at Himanshu.
Having the butterfingers, feelers, the
Well, this time he gets it right
from
in his
Cricket Academy.
arc, and it's a long way. That's a massive six in the long on. Slightly fuller in terms of length by Srikanth, and this time goes completely to the other side of ground, goes over long on instead of long off, and gets it out of the middle. That's a six, massive six to close out the over. A power play ends on a high for Codearth. 8 coming off that one. 55 for the loss of 2 after 6. A very even power play for both the teams. Well, power play is done and dusted. Now, PP developers can have more fielders outside the circle. So they are taking time to set their field right. Vinu will continue. A super fast over from Vinu. 1 over 6 for 2 so far for him. Will get his second go.
Oh my goodness.
Deep gully
That ball was
and
spinning
a
away,
deep
getting
square
them
leg
over
outside
and
the
he gets
circle for
it
Vinu.
over.
Once again, a
Amazing,
short ball into the
absolutely diving
surface,
out
but
of the
this time it's
corner.
been given wide. That ball went over the head of Mohan Maheshwari, hence given wide.
Pressure getting the better of this youngsters for the master stroke. What a shot
One for
that
the
is.
over
What a shot.
and wide,
That has
both
been
given
hit out of the
at the
park.
very ball. Well, we know he's got a very sharp and effective bouncer, but now how will he ball
Striking at
as it's been given one for the
222
over
for
on
him
the
for
pads?
8 huge
A
sixes
length
and
delivery
11 boundaries
on the
targets.
pads clipped away in the square leg for a single. We know he can't ball short, but he can still ball at that 6 meter mark and get the ball near that hip and chest for the batters. His pace is up.
Behind a boundary.
He's generating
Striking
some
well
good
from
pace.
Tejas Abid.
He's hurrying the batter at the moment. He's got 2 wickets in that fashion. Once again into the surface. That ball
Toying with the
doesn't
field,
climb
toying
as
with the
much as batter
opposition now
anticipated,
after
but
the
still Himanshu does well.
everything that is
Controls it
touching is
nicely.
turning into
Keeps
gold
it
for
all along the
Yama
carpet for a
Stroke.
single down to mid wicket.
127 of 56. More than
Now
not
both the
good news.
batters slowing down, looking to rotate strike on regular
Beautifully
basis
hit.
and
One
get
bounce
the
and into the fence.
scoreboard, keep the scoreboard ticking.
Time overcover, inside out, into
Well,
the
a
boundary.
slow one, beautifully driven.
Flexing with
Venkatarama Rao
purpose.
there in the covers does well, but cannot stop the batters from crossing through for a
That
single.
is
Well,
lucky shot
Venkatarama
after
Rao,
shot
not one of the
after
quickest fielder
delivery.
on the field, so hence both
Going
the
at the pace
batters
now in overdrive mode.
seizing on the opportunity and running through for a
That's
single. This is
11th boundary
excellent
that
piece
he
of
has hit
batsmanship from both.
to go with 8 huge sixes
Himanshu 26 of 18 for him, punched off the back foot.
handsomely driven.
It's a single down to long
Gets
on.
the single and keeps the strike.
Score moves to 60 now.
Don't want to be giving the strike to the other batters.
5
At the
runs
back
so
of the
far
wicket
of
and he
the
has
over.
targeted
2 deliveries yet to be
21 runs
balled.
of that over. 86
Mohan
for him.
Maheshwari getting a lifeline early
Just
on in
4
his
overs to
innings.
go.
An easy catch in the short third region which was put down. It was against Venu. once again looking to punch off the back foot, gets an inside edge. That ball was very close to that stumps. It was almost a chop on, but Mohan Maheshwari gets away with that one. Well, it looks like it's a day for Mohan Maheshwari. He got a lifeline, now gets away with the luck. So these are good signs for him. Fortune favoring him. Can he get a big score in the all important semi final of One Champion Plate Season 32 against PP Developers? Last ball of the over. Well, that's a wide down the leg. Well, that was a bluff from Vinu, looking to go full on the pads, but he drifts one down the leg, and that's being given wide. So Vinu, he has to reload that one. He's very accurate with his length, likes to ball into the surface, occasionally goes full just to surprise the batter. Last ball of the over on a length. Mohan Maheshwari looking to punch off the back foot, slide midfield by the wicketkeeper, enough for batter to scamper through for a single. Good piece of running between the wicket. So 7 runs coming off the 7th over, 62 for the loss of 2. Codearth. Change in the bowling attack. Now Gabbar introduced into the attack. First signs of spin. Left arm orthodox, slow left arm orthodox bowler Gabbar. 701 matches for Gabbar. 831 wickets, economy 6.7, best figures of 7 for 14. He's a very experienced and a seasonal campaigner Gabbar. Now into the attack to bowl the ninth over. Will be bowling at Mohan Maheshwari. 13 of 14 deliveries for Mohan Maheshwari, whereas 27 of 19 for Himanshu on the other end. These two now building a partnership for Codearth. Well, that was an arm ball there. Mohan Maheshwari was playing for the spin. Almost goes through the defense of Mohan Maheshwari. Gabba there. Well, there's a misfield at the bowler's end, and Mohan Maheshwari will get couple of runs.
This is a daddy 100 from Abid Azharuddin. Quite used to this now.
This time plays with the soft hand, looking for the quick single, but sent back by Himanshu. That's a dot ball.
Boundary for Abid Azharuddin of just 65 balls. What a knock this is. A special knock from the special player. And the trademark celebration to go with that. He's a very, very dangerous batter, and don't want to be dropping catches of that kind of a player. He's making them pay for that.
73 for 2 after 8.2. It's again
He's not
quick
done yet.
quick delivery coming straight with the arm. This time Mohan Maheshwari does well and plays it with the very straight bat of the back foot, but doesn't get it away from the bowler in his follow through. This time it was a Chinaman delivery. That's the variation that Gabbar has developed these days. He bowls a left arm Chinaman deliveries in between to get the bowler to get the ball back in for the right handers. Usually balls and orthodox deliveries, left arm orthodox deliveries. Once again, this time slow through the air. Mohan Maheshwari gets a big stride out and defends it off the front foot. That's a dot ball. Apart from the two, four dots on a trot from Bharat Gabbar. Last ball of the over. Once again attacking the stump. That was a quicker one. Played off the back foot to the cover. So it will only be a single to close out the over. So 3 runs coming off that one. 74 for the loss of 2 after 9 overs. 9 overs, 74 for 2 in all important semi-final Codearth. Another change in the bowling attack. Now Venkata Rao, the captain, into the attack for PP developers. 434 matches for Venkata Rao. 511 runs, averaging 8.21, best figures of 6 for 17. He's a fighter. He's a wicket keeper. He's a wicket taker. Venkata Rao, never afraid to toss one up. Venkata Rao, Venkata Rao now with his right arm leg break. Will he toss it up against Mohan Maheshwari? These two batters not afraid of going downtown. This will be a good matchup to watch out. He starts off wide, slow through the air, and gets rid of Mohan Maheshwari at the very first ball. Well, what a catch that was in the inner circle. It came straight at him. Suresh Babi, the man there in the inner circle, makes no mistake. Venkatarama Rao straight away into the attack, gets rid of Mohan Maheshwari. Well, talk about matchup. What a matchup it was, and it was Venkatarama Rao who gets the first laugh and gets the wicket at the very first ball to get rid of a well set batter. Codearth now 3 down. New batter in is Rohit Singh. Another very good delivery. Very animated appeal from Venkata Ramarao. He's in the game. He's got the wicket at the very first ball. He's a character. He likes to celebrate. He likes to celebrate his wicket. His energy will always be up, especially after getting a wicket. Once again, tossed up delivery, but this time just outside that wide line on the offside. It's been given wide. 283 matches for Rohit Singh, 6,416 runs, averaging 31.30. Strike rate just under 160, 159.13 for Rohit Singh. He is a very good batter in the middle order for Codearth. Very capable batter. He's up against Venkatarama Rao. Once again, tossed up. Gets the outside edge. Looking for the quick single. A sharp throw. There's a fielder backing up in the long on region. Jayasurya the man there, but it will be a single. In fact, it will be a couple for Rohit Singh to get underway. Good running between the wicket to get that one. Rohit Singh and Himanshu quick between the wickets. Does exceedingly well there. Gets off the mark with that two. Once again, slow through the air. Trying to drag the batter outside of stump. This is good, smart piece of bowling from Venkata Rao, but he's been off the mark on that occasion. So wide given by the umpire rightfully, just outside that wide line on the off stump. He's a very smart operator. Venkata Rao will pitch it up, but trying to throw the ball wide, trying to induce the fall shot. Well, this time there was a bluff there. He went for the stumps, but Rohit Singh was up to the task, beautifully sweeps it, and that ball goes the distance. Score moves to 84. Rohit Singh gets going. Venkata Ramarao there was slightly quicker through the air and was very full delivery looking for the Yorker, but he gets penalized for a six. A very good shot from when Rohit Singh he moves to 8 of just 3 deliveries. He's got a start. 10 runs and a wicket so far in this over. Once again, a very good delivery. But Venkatarama not happy with the decision there. But umpire gives it a wide. Punched off the back foot in the mid wicket region. There's a fielder behind. Not running hard. They're happy with a single there. Rohit Singh and Himanshu. An eventful over so far from Venkatarama Rao. He's got a wicket at the very first ball. After that, he's gone for 12 in his next 4 deliveries. Last delivery of the over. This will be the last ball from this end. 86 for the loss of 3 after 9.5. Codearth. Last ball from this end. Venkata Ramarao will be bowling at Himanshu. This time, quick through the air. It was a quicker one. Punched off the back foot, straight down to deep extra cover fielder. So it will only be a single to close out. 13 runs and a wicket of Moin Vashwari coming off the 10th over. Codearth at the halfway mark are 87 for the loss of 3. Surya into the attack and gets rid of dangerous batter. New batter in is Pawan in at number 6 for Codearth. Surya getting a big wicket in this over. Well, that's an absolute beauty again. Pawan looking to play on the front foot. That ball turned sharply. That's a dot ball. Pawan, 528 matches for him, 3053 runs, averaging 14.61 strike rate, 110.98. Well, once again, the ball goes the other way. Batter there, just getting his bat down in time. Himanshu dismissed in this over. Jaisuriya getting rid of him. That's a very big wicket. Himanshu was looking dangerous. Well, Rohit Singh, he pulls, but there's a fielder behind. So it will only be a single. A successful over from Jaisuriya. 4 runs and a wicket. Priceless wicket of Himanshu in that over. After 13 overs, Codearth are 107 for the loss of 4. Bharat Gabbar now back into the attack. He was taken off after that 1 over. He's bowled well in his first, only conceded 3. Now back into the attack. Bharat and Jayasuriya, these two balls very good when they ball around each other. Well, that's a poor delivery from Gabbar. A rare sight, wide down the leg, and wicketkeeper fails to collect that one. That's a boundary, wide +4. Channa Rao with the gloves fails to get that one, and that's a boundary. Down the leg. 5 gifts for Codearth. The score moves to 112. 112 for the loss of 4 in 13 overs. They're scoring at good rate. Codearth. Once again, a very similar kind of delivery. Drifting down the leg. That's been given wide as well. Wide +1. 2 extra for Codearth. Bharat in this over has been wavered with his line. Usually balls a very good channel. This time it's an absolute beauty that pitched in line of stumps, then turned away and got some extra bounce on that as well. Pawan, nothing much he could have done on that delivery. This time very full in terms of length, driven on the up and single down to coverts. Venkataramaro they right at the edge of circle, so single was on. Well, once again pulled away over the fine leg for a boundary. What a shot that was from Rohit Singh. He moved early, got inside the line of ball, and his pad was down and beautifully pulls it over short fine for a boundary. This is excellent game awareness from Pawan Singh, well aware of the field set there. This time slow through the air, played with the soft hands and threw for a single. This is batsmanship of the highest order from Rohit Singh. Immediately after getting a boundary, he rotates the strike and gets down to the other end. An expensive over so far from Bharat Gabbar. Well, that was a good delivery from Gabbar, coming in with the angle and beats the batter on the outside edge. Last ball of the over once again came in sharply and huge appeal for the LBW, but no no interest from the umpires. 13 runs coming off that one. An expensive over from Bharat Gabbar. After 14 overs, Codearth 120 for the loss of 4. Final 6 overs remaining in the innings for Codearth. They are going strong. They have got 120. What more can they add in the final 6 overs? In the meantime, Jai Surya will continue. 2 overs, 13 for 1 for Jaisurya so far. Into his third over, both the bowlers bowling with the very same feel. Length delivery. Will they look for the quick single? Played with the soft hand, but that ball was never away from that wicket keeper. Pawan Singh looking for that quick single, but sent back by Rohit Singh rightfully. That's a dot ball to start off the over. Jaysurya slow through the air, tosses one up, and a fall shot induced and taken in the deep. Gabbar the catcher who makes no mistake. Well, that's the variation that Jaysurya has up his sleeve. Slightly slow through the air, slightly fuller in terms of length, and Rohit Singh looking for the big shot falls into the trap. A good running catch by Gabbar in the deep to send back Rohit Singh. Now half of the team dismissed. 120 on the board, 120 for 5 after 14.2. Rohit Singh played well, but now back in the sheds. Valluri Pushkar is the new batter in at number 7 for Codearth. 192 matches for Pushkar, 2705 runs, average 26.78, strike rate 113.18 for Valluri Pushkar in at number 7 for Codearth. Well, that's a wayward delivery. Getting a wicket in the previous delivery now. Balls are wide down the leg. Once again, the wicketkeeper Channa Rao fails to get that one. That's a boundary. That ball kept low, skids through the surface. Can't blame the wicketkeeper. Jaysurya should have been bowling outside off stump or on the stumps. He balls one down the leg. So 5 runs for Kodath as their score moves to 125. Once again, slow through the air, but this time the direction was wrong. Wide on the other side of the batsman. This is hard to understand from PP developers. They have bowled well, but occasionally they have bowled wides and conceded freebies that never let that never actually let the pressure come on the batters as they're getting good amount of runs. I've got 5 wicket PP developers. Well, that's an absolute beauty, huge appeal and given. Pawan really not happy with the decision, but that's been given on the field. He was on the front foot and his knee was bending, and that's been given out. He was on the back foot, trap in front, no hesitation in the umpire's mind before giving that one. 6-1 down for Codearth and Pawan. The man dismissed. Jaisurya gets his third. New batter in is Shivraj. In at number 8 for Codearth. After the departure of Pawan, he's joined Pushkar now. Two new batsmen out in the center. Well, this is good passage of play for PP developers. Slow through the air, inviting the drive. Shivraj looking to drive, gets beaten on the outside edge. That's a dot ball. This is good over from Jayasuriya. He's balled well. Well, that's a wide down the leg. As I said, every now and then they have drifted the ball down the leg and offered freebies for the batters, which never let the pressure on. 274 matches for Shivraj, 1762 runs, averaging under 16. Strike rate very healthy, 107.57. Last ball of the over. Well, that's a very full delivery, played with the soft hands on the front foot and through for a single. This is good between both the batters. So 10 runs and a wicket of Pawan coming in the 15th over. Codearth 130 for the loss of 6. Venkataramarao back into the attack. 2 overs 20 for 1 for Venkataramarao into his third over. Played with the soft hands and threw for a single. That is something that Pushkar did in the previous ball. That was the last ball of that over. Now starts off with same thing. Defend off the front foot and run through for a single. Looking to rotate strike on regular basis. Pushkar slow through the air, punched off the back foot, but straight to Bharat Gabbar within the cover point region. That's a dot ball. Hit hard by Shivraj, but doesn't find the gap. Punched off the back foot, will not beat the infield. Cover point fielder does well and keeps it to 1. So 10 runs coming off that one. Bharat Gawar being expensive in that one. 147 for the loss of 6 after 17 overs. Coder. Channarao now back into the attack after a couple of expensive overs. From the spinner, she's back into the attack. So mid off now inside the circle and third man pushed back. Well, there's an outside edge and the ball goes in the very region. This is good field placement from PP developers. They need to have the fielder there for the pacer and they have got the fielder there. Mid off was brought up at the very ball and third man was pushed back and he saves a boundary there. That's a single. Score moves to 148 with that.
They do not want to concede a single. They want Angad to stay on the side as much as
148 for the
they
loss
can.
of 6 now. Codearth after
That's a
17.2.
good looking shot. Sweeps it off the stump. That's a safe
Well,
shot
that's
from Angad to be able
beautifully
to
done. Slightly over pitch from
different
Channa
slightly
Rao
over
and
pitching and hit
Valluri
the side.
Pushkar beautifully drives it on the up right in between covers and mid off for a boundary. That's a poor delivery from Channa Rao. With that field set, you can't pitch the ball up. Hit it and pays the penalty. That's a handsome looking boundary. 150 is up for Coder. 152 for 6
Chance of
in
a run
just
out.
17.3.
Directed. No, the batsman made it.
Once again, another change of field. Mid off now drops back and third man in the circle. Short third and point both inside the circle. Nowhere behind point. Well, that's a
Short
slow
ball
one.
again.
Beautifully
Over
delivered
into
by
the
Channa
gap
Rao.
over mid wicket.
Valluri Pushkar trying to
Angad
use the pace, but
looking for
that
the
was
no
never
ball
there on
from
that
the fielder.
delivery. It's a dot ball. Good changer from Channa Rao. This time hit hard, but there's a fielder behind in the long on, so it will only be a single. 6 runs of the over. Only delivery to be ball. Apart from the boundary, Channa Rao has bowled well. Only conceded two in his other four.
Single of the sixth
Last ball
ball.
of the over, swing and a
That
miss.
got the
He ends his
fielder
over
into
on a
into mid
high.
wicket.
So only Singh
153.
six
153.
coming off that over.
153.
Apart from that boundary as well. So Codearth after 18 overs, 153 for the loss of six. Final 2 overs remaining in this innings. What more can Codearth add on? Jaisurya to bowl out.
5.
Well, that's a peach from Jaisurya. Valluri Pushkar looking for the slog sweep. That ball just going over the off stump. Hint of extra bounce. Saved Pushkar there on that occasion. Once again, swing and a miss. Ball going away from the right hander. Jaisurya is a very smart operator. Back to back dot deliveries. Well, that's an extra bounce on that occasion. Pushkar looking to play at that one but gets beaten. Good take by the wicketkeeper. That's third dot and a trot in the 19th over. This is good stuff from Jaisurya. 3.3 overs,
First
23
ball of
for
the
3
over
so far.
and pinches
This
back for
time
a
very
boundary
full
by
delivery.
Malikarjun.
Wide of long off. They'll come back for the second. Yes, they will. And they'll complete the second run with ease. A misfield there in the deep makes it even easier for both the batters. Score moves to 155 now. 155 is already up for Coder. 8 deliveries still remaining in this innings. Well, this time it was an off spinner and beautifully done. Valluri Pushkar this time plays with the spin and sweeps it fine enough to beat the fine leg towards his left and gets that boundary, a required boundary of the over. Now score moves to 159 now. Let me tell you, PP developers will be only batting 16 overs. Their 4 overs got reduced. just because they came late to the match. This is the all important semi final. Well, that's a wide drifted down the leg. Bharat Gabbar fails to take that one. So wide plus 4, 5 extras for Codearth as their score moves to 164. Well, flurry of runs. Now coming late for Codearth. Well. This is the third time that a bowler has bowled 4 wides, 5 extras. All in all, too many extras bowled by PP developers. Well, that's been given as wide as well. What has happened there? Wide plus 4, 5 another extras for Codearth as their score moves to 169 now. Well, did that clip on the pad, but the wicketkeeper was beaten and that ball raced very quickly in the fine leg region. 35 extras in total for PP developers. 33 wides, one leg by, one by. In that 33 wides, can you believe? This is a crime. Well, played with the soft hand down to sweeper cover, so it will only be a single. An expensive over from Jaisurya, 17 runs coming off that one. 170 for the loss of 6 after 19 Coder. Final over of the innings will be bowled by Channa Rao. They're looking for second run. Throw is good, but not good enough. Pushkar comes back for the second run. Well, he might have hurt himself there. He crashed into the wicketkeeper Gabbar there. Two to start off the over. This is good intent from both the batters. Running hard for the first run, then coming back for the second, converting those singles into the doubles. That's the success mantra for them. Two to start off the 20th over. A slow one, a leg cutter, drifted down the leg. Well, Valluri Pushkar swings, gets some part of his bat and beats the fine leg fielder towards his right. And that's a boundary. 100 is 176 on the board for Coder. Well, flurry of runs coming low down the order for Hari Patak in at number 9 for Kodath. Only has 3 deliveries to make an impact. Channa Rao with a quick delivery. Well. Shivraj was keen to get on the strike, but no interest whatsoever from Hari Patak. So Shivraj will be run out at the non-striker end by Channa Rao. Another wicket goes down. Eighth one down now for Codearth. Shivraj, the man dismissed. Raj Patel is the new batter in for Codearth, but he'll be at the non-striker end. Hari Patak on the strike. He now have only two deliveries to make an impact. 176 on the board for Codearth. What can we add more to that? This is the all important semi final. Hari Pata gets down the track, gets to the pitch of the ball, and plays it straight as an arrow. No chance for long on and long off fielder to cut that off. That's a boundary. Hari Pata gets off the mark in some style. 180 is up for Coder. 180 for the loss of 8. Last ball remaining in this innings. Let me remind you, PP developers will be only batting 16 overs. Well, that's a short ball. Hari Patak looking to scoop one over in the fine leg gets beat, and that's a dot ball. So 180 for the loss of 8 is where Codearth ends up while batting first. So 181 will be the target for PP developers when they come out to chase. They have only 18. In fact, Codearth. 0 for the loss of 1. PP developers. New batter in is Channa Rao in at number 3 for PP developers. A wicket at the very first ball for Rinku.
Goodness, what a missing
Well,
catch.
that's a beauty.
Malika
Leaving the right hander.
inside out, hitting it
Beats the
straight to
batter
the
on the
cover.
outside edge. That's a dot ball.
Domestic. It's
408 matches for Channa Rao. 8,477 runs.
69
Averaging
for 45 balls. 93
30.83
for
strike rate. 158.51 for Channa Rao. Is in at number 3. This is a big match. Semi-final. Played with the soft hands. Will they look for the quick single? No, they don't. They decide against it. That's a dot ball. Rinku Yadav getting a wicket at the very first ball he bowled. 229 matches for him. 212 wickets. Economy 7.5. Best figures of 4 for 23 for Rinku Yadav. Getting rid of energy at the very first ball of the match. An excellent over so far. Another beauty into the surface. Gets an extra bounce. Channa does well to keep it out, but that's a dot ball. This is super start for Codearth. Yet to concede a run. 0 for the loss of 1 PP developers. They're one down without any score on the board. Worst possible start for them. Once again in leading age. This time the ball goes in between gully and back foot point. There's not much gap there, but still it goes between and races very quickly. First runs on the board for PP developers. That to a boundary. That was a streaky boundary, but Channara will take it.
Batter out in the center. Gets off the mark with a single. Successful over
Channara,
from
very
Rinku
good
here.
all-round cricketer,
Captain Ali.
a very
Gets
good
off the
bowler,
mark.
and a very good
Boundary cut.
accomplished batter as well.
Crucial wicket of
In at
Malika to
number
end that
3,
over.
gets the first run for
94
PP
for 6.
developers. 4 for the loss of 1. Last ball of the over. Once again, hitting that hard length. Chance of a run out. It's a direct throw, but looks like Malesh there has made his ground. So it's a single to close out the over. 5 runs and a big wicket of NSG coming off the very first over. 5 for the loss of 1. PP developers. Hari Patak
In the
to share
air,
the
it's
new
big
ball
chance for a
alongside
short mid wicket. Fourth wicket
Rinku
for Sam
Yadav.
Sufyan. Has to depart.
408
What a
matches for
single.
Hari,
Big catch for
377 wickets,
Rinku.
economy 7.07, best figures of 5 for 16 for Hari Patak. Will share the new ball alongside Rinku Yadav, who's bowled exceedingly well in the very first over, only conceded 5 and picked the priceless wicket of NSG. NSG, very dangerous batter, dismissed early. In fact, dismissed for a golden duck. Well, the air was an outside edge, and that's been put down by the wicketkeeper. In fact, doesn't get a glove onto that one. He was late onto the ball. A very big deflection. That ball was a very comfort at that ball was at a very comfortable height for the wicketkeeper, who was in a very big strangle. Well, it seems like it wasn't a glove of the wicketkeeper, it looked like a crocodile's mouth. The ball went straight through it, and that's a boundary. Another streaky boundary for Channa Rao, not convincing. He moves to 9. This time gets on the top of the bounce, just gets it over the cover fielder who was backpedaling, tried to get to that ball, but fails to do so. Sweeper covered, backs him up nicely, but it will be couple of runs for Channa Rao. Score moves to 11 for PP developers. Well, this is not the start that PP developers were after while chasing a massive target. This time, Channa Rao doesn't get out of the middle, but will be good enough for the ball to travel for a boundary. That's a welcome boundary. Slice of a bat, but still goes for a boundary straight down the ground, hitting against the wind, hitting against the bounce. Mallesh on the non-striker end, yet to face a delivery. 616 matches for Mallesh, 9,388 runs, averaging just under 22. Very healthy strike rate of 136.26 for Mallesh. But at the moment, Channa Rao going hard at the bowling. Once again, short ball. This time he guides it over. But there's a fielder behind in the gully, so it will only be a single. Fortunate for Channa Rao that the ball doesn't carry all the way to the deep fielder. It just lands in front of him. He does well. Collects the ball on a bounce, and it's only a single. Mallesh now on the strike for the first time in the match in the very second over. 16 for the loss of 1 PP developers in 1.4. NSG dismissed for not, dismissed for a golden duck. Channa Rao in at number 3, 16 of 9 for him. Mallesh now facing his first ball. Well, beautifully cuts it over point. One bounce, two bounce, into the fence it goes. What a shot that was. He was ready for that sort of deliveries. Hari Patak into the surface, but plenty of wit that was unoffered, and Hari Patak makes a full use of that one, cuts it beautifully over point for a boundary. Sweeper cover and a gully fielder behind, but he gets it over point on that occasion and gets a 4. Gets off the mark in some style. Mallesh, last ball of the over. This time played with the soft hands and guides it to the gully. Slight misfield, but still it will only be a single. A good over for PP developers as they get 16 of that one after 2. 21 for the loss of 1 PP developers. Rinku Yadav will continue. Well, Mallesh running down the track, giving the charge. Rinku saw him coming, threw the ball wide of him. He just lets it go through the wicketkeeper. It's a dot ball to start off. Rinku Yadav, he's bowling very smartly. 1.1 overs, 5 for 1 for Rinku Yadav so far. He's got a wicket of NSG as well. Very full delivery on the stumps, driven by Mallesh all along the carpet down to long off for a single. So long off and a deep mid wicket in play. for Rinku Yadav. He's bowled exceedingly well up until now. 1.2 over 6 for 1. PP developers cannot afford to bat him out. Well, Channa Rao with the big shot and gets it right off the middle, and that goes the distance. What a shot that was! Slightly back of a length delivery. Channa Rao this time gets into a very good position. That ball never climbed enough, and it was easy pickings for the batter of caliber of Channa Rao, who pulls it out of the park with ease. That's a much needed six. Channa Rao moves to 22 with that six. 22 of just 10 deliveries. PP developers moves to 28. Very full this time. Rinku Yadav. Channa Rao once again looking to go big. This time off the front foot. Gets beaten on the outside edge. That ball was very close to the outside edge. This is good from Rinku Yadav, keeping the batter guessing, not being very predictable. He was taken for a six on back of a length. Makes an adjustment, balls it full on the previous. What does he have in his next delivery? On a length. And Channa Rao just lets it go through. Well, the ball has been moving nicely for Rinku Yadav with the angle going further away for the right-handers. Channa Rao, very experienced batter, plenty of experience behind him. He's got the big shots, he's got all the shots in the books. Last ball of the over, 7 of the over so far. Full in terms of length, looking to go big, gets a slice of the bat, gets past the covers. A wide long off fielder will cut that off, but it will be couple of runs for Channa Rao. 9 runs coming off the third over, 30 for the loss of 1. PP developers after 3. Change in the bowling attack. Now Rohit Singh into the attack after that expensive first over by Hari Patak. He went for 16. He's been taken off the attack, and Rohit Singh now introduced. 283 matches for Rohit Singh, 175 wickets, economy 7.86. Best figures of 5 for 29, but will not change the result as Mallesh batting in very one gear. That was shot of good length into the surface by Rohit Singh, and Mallesh pulls it well in front. In fact, goes over long on, mid on. One bounce, 4 it is. Doesn't get right out of the middle, but still good enough for a boundary. Both the batters looking to make full use of the field restrictions. Sweep a cover and long off outside the circle for Rohit Singh. And Mallesh goes and Channa Rao. Mallesh called early, went for the quick single. Channa Rao responded. Both the batters completing the single with ease in the end. 37 for 1 after 3.4 overs. Well, PP developers only have 16 overs to get to their target. They're chasing a massive target. Full and straight goes Rohit Singh. Meets the full face of the bat of Mallesh, but it will only be a single down to long on. Apart from that boundary at the very first ball, Rohit Singh has bowled well. He's only conceded 4 in his next 4 deliveries. This is good little comeback. So last ball of the over, 38 for 1 PP developers. That's an off cutter driven on the up, but looking for the quick single there. Mallesh sent back by Channa Rao. So it's a dot ball. Good overall in all from Rohit Singh. Only 8 runs coming off that one. 38 for the loss of 1. 38 for the loss of 1 after 4. PP developers. Well, Rinku Yadav, he'll he'll ball his third. That's third over in a trot. Well, Mallesh swings across the line and pays the penalty. That ball never bounced and kept low and hits the stumps behind. Well, that's the second one for Rinku Yadav and Codearth as they get rid of dangerous Mallesh. 38 for 2 now. Codearth after 4.1. On the up, gets an inside half onto the pad. That's a dot ball. Rinku Singh in the middle of an excellent spell. His ball exceedingly well up until now into his third over. 2.2 overs, 14 for 2. Coming to the career stats of Jayasurya, 604 matches for Jayasurya, 14,758 runs, averaging 35.14, strike rate 152.40. Did he get off the mark? Well, runs given there by the umpire. So Jayasurya gets off the mark with that couple of runs. Score moves to 40. 141 needed in 69 deliveries. Required rate over 12. Well,
Edge taken. That's a beautiful
inside
catch.
edge. Ball moves to square leg for a single. Well, Jayasurya, Channarao, someone among these needs to go big and score those runs in a very quick time for PP developers if they want to get anywhere near that target, a massive target ahead of them. They are chasing 181 in just 16 overs. It will take some chasing. They are 41 for the loss of 2 in just 4.4. They have lost 2 wickets in the way. NSG dismissed at the very first ball of the innings. Then Mallesh dismissed in this very over. Drilled hard, but all along the carpet. Down to long off for a single. The fielder does well as that ball was traveling with some speed. Well stuck, but doesn't find the gap on that occasion. This is good from Yinku Yadav. He's bowling to his field. 2.5 overs, 18 for 2. He's contained the batters when they are coming after you. Driven wide of covers, but he does exceedingly well and keeps the batter to one. Cover fielder moves quickly towards it right and does the fielding. A super over from Rinku Yadav. Wicket of Mallesh and only 5 runs coming off that one. 43 for the loss of 2 after 5. PP developers. Rohit Singh to continue. Well, Jayasurya comes down the track, winds up for the first time, and hits it out of the park, and it landed in the parking lot. Well, nothing wrong with the delivery, it's just the class of the batter. Did exceedingly well, came down the track, shimmy down the wicket, got to the pitch of the ball, and lifts it beautifully over extra cover. Well, once this man gets going, it's hard to contain. Jaisurya winds up for the first time. He had enough. This is the final over of the power play. He had couple of balls under his sleeves, had a good look at the bowling unit, but now goes big and gets it right out of the screws. 49 for 2 now. PP developer 6 of the very first ball of the final over of the power play. A low full toss and driven this time all along the carpet, right in between cover point and cover. That's a boundary. Class written all over that. Sit back and admire the talent. Jaisurya with the boundary. Over starts off with a six. A powerful shot over covers. Now a classiest cover drive all along the carpet for a boundary. Well, this batter has got all the shots in the book. He plays 360-degree. He plays both on the front foot and the back foot. Really hard to contain when he keeps going. He started off. Once again comes down the track, gets it high on the bat, but still good enough to travel the distance. Well, what can I say about that? Rohit Singh saw the batter coming, dragged his length back. Jayasurya still continues with the shot and deposits one out of the park. That ball not coming right out of the screws, but still travels the distance. That's the power and class of the batter. Shimmy down the wicket, gets his body weight behind the shot and gets the desired distance. 16 coming off the first three deliveries. This is the final over of the power play. Jaisurya trying to make full use. Well, once again, a slow off cutter from Rohit Singh and gets the treatment. Jaisurya still doesn't middle it, but it goes for a boundary. Well, these days, a very, a very powerful outer edges of the bats for the batters. This time he goes outside of some, trying to stay away from the hitting arc. That's a wide. Wicketkeeper standing up does exceedingly well to collect that one. 21 of the over. Still two deliveries to be bowled. Well, Rohit Singh in tremendous pressure to get out of the over. 64 on the board for PP developers. This over completely changed the complexion of the match. That's in the air, but one bounce for it will be over point. Beautifully square driven from Jaisurya. He moves to 28 of just 9 deliveries. Well, what can we say about this batter? This batter is a 24 carat gold. What more can you ask in the final over of the power play? 25 already. Yet a delivery to be bowled. Rohit Singh proving out to be an expensive in this over. Last ball of the over. Goes full. Jaisurya sings across. Doesn't get out of the middle, but still for a boundary. Well, that's been the case in this over. Jaisurya taking on Rohit Singh and getting 29 of the over. 72 for the loss of 2 after 6. Power play done and dusted. PP developers well and truly back into this match. Well, spin straight away after the power play for Codearth. Valluri Pushkar now with his right arm leg break into the attack to ball the seventh over. 192 matches for Valluri Pushkar, 364 wickets, economy 5.25, best figures of 5 for 8. He's a wicket taker. He's a genuine wicket taker. He'll choke the batters every now and then. Starts off with a low full toss, hits straight back. Good fielding in his follow through by Pushkar. This will be a one matchup to watch out. Valluri Pushkar against Jay Surya. Once again, slightly over pitch, driven on the up, but straight to the sweeper cover. Will they look for two? Yes, they will. A good throw. We have to wait for the umpire decision. He says not out. Channarao making his ground by just a good flat throw, but a slight misfeel allows the batter to come back for that second. Once again, tossed up, slow through the air, played with the soft hands, and threw for a single. Good running between the wicket between these two. These two are quick between the wickets. 75 for 2 now after 6.3. PP developers. Valluri Pushkar now will ball at Jaisurya, best bowler of the Codearth against the best batter of the PP developers. Jaisurya gets down and paddles him fine. No one there in the fine leg, so that's easily done. Well, Jaisurya, he's got plenty of shots under his sleeves. This time gets the paddle sweep out and gets a 4, collects a 4. This is what the good batters do. They find the way to score runs. Jaisurya not taking him down the ground, instead paddles him in the fine leg for a boundary. Jaisurya once again looking to repeat that shot, but this time Valluri Pushkar was smart enough to ball outside off stump, a leg by down to point. Good running between the wicket by Channarao called early. Both the batters completing their single with ease. Score moves to 80. Last ball of the over, 7 runs of the over. Channarao hits hard, but hits it straight to the sweeper cover. Will they look for second? No, they don't. An excellent work in the deep keeps the batter to 1. So 9 runs coming off the 7th over by Valluri Pushkar. 81 for the loss of 2. Another pacer into the attack. Rishabh Dev now introduced. 206 matches for Rishabh Dev. 185 wickets. Economy just under 8. Best figures of 5 for 18 for Rishabh. Starts off with a slow one. Channarao looking for the big shot. Only manages to get an inside half of the bat. Ball moves all along the carpet down to long off for a single. In fact, it moves down to long on for a single. Score moves to 82. Strike is back with Jaisurya. 36 of 12 so far for Jaisurya. Comes down the track, hits it flat. and will clear, will beat the fielder for a six. What a shot that was! Came down the track. That was a very full delivery. No chance for Jayasuriya to give any elevation on that ball. Still drills it and gets the distance. Well, hit flat, but that ball travels the distance. That's the power of this man. Well, that's mind-boggling power from Jayasuriya. This time, a good delivery from Rishabh Dev, banged into the surface. Well, Jayasuriya surprised with the pace and bounce. That was an effort delivery from Rishabh Dev. Jayasuriya still does well to nudge us one on the onside for a single. Score moves to 89. 8 runs of the 3 deliveries so far of this over. Slower one, beautifully delivered. Very slow through the air. Channarao does well, waits on to that one, plays with the very soft hands in the point region and through for a single. 90 is up for PP developers, 90 in just 7.4. Chase is on. A wicket here for Codearth will get them right back into the match. Well, that's in the air. Point fielder settling underneath and takes it. Well, a big wicket of Jayasuriya falls. Once again comes down the track, looks for the big shot. But change of pace done him. Leading edge and a good catch in the point. Hari Patak makes no mistake. Dangerous batter Jayasuriya dismissed. Well, Codearth, well and truly back into the match as they get a rid of Jayasuriya. 90 for the 3. 90 for the loss of 3 after 7.5. New batter in is Bunny. Well, he starts off with a boundary, a poor delivery to close out the over from Rishabh on the pads, and Bunny beautifully gets it in the fine leg for a boundary to open his account. 13 runs and a priceless wicket of Jayasuriya coming in that over. 94 for the loss of 3 at the halfway mark. PP developers, they still need 87 more in 48 deliveries at the required rate of 10.88. So there will be a change in ends. Player will have drinks. We'll be right back after a very short break. Another wicket falls at the very wrong time. New batter in is Srikanth. Shapur Srikanth in at number 7. Rishabh getting couple of wickets in this over. Punched off the back foot straight to the point fielder. That's a dot ball. A super over from Rishabh. Getting 2 wickets and only conceding 8. 108 for the loss of 5 after 9 overs. 73 still needed. In fact, after 10 overs, 108 for 5. So, PP developers need 73 in 36 deliveries. 73 needed in 36 deliveries at the required rate of 12.17. Well, the losing wickets on the regular interval. PP developers, Gabbar and Srikanth, both very capable batters, but they are new at the crease. 701 matches for Gabbar, 9,152 runs, averaging 27.73, strike rate 148.31. Will be facing Valluri Pushkar, who's into his third over. Well, he went for the big shot and will clear the deep fielder. That's a 6. Much needed 6. Coming off the blade of Gabbar. Well, do not count PP developers off. They're not done yet. They bat deep. They've got plenty of big hitters in their side. They need 67 in 35. They've done that in the past. They can do it today as well. But Codearth once again pushed wide of the fielder there. Well, there's a misfield, and in fact, the ball goes for a boundary. That's a smart piece of bowling from Valluri Pushkar. Throwed wide of the left hander. He had to drag that ball from way outside of stump. That was a big wide if Gabbar let that one go, but he opts to play, gets the bottom half of the bat. That should have been taken in the deep. Fielder there puts the ball down and lets the ball go through for a boundary. More fielders on the leg side for Gabbar. First a 6, now a boundary. 10 runs off the 2 deliveries. Chance of a stump and the wicketkeeper misses out. Well, Gabbar there coming down the track, trying to hit him straight down the ground. But Pushkar was smart enough to throw that one wide. Wicketkeeper fails to collect the ball cleanly. If it would have collected the ball cleanly, it would have been curtains for Gabbar. Low full toss, hit away. There's a fielder behind. Not an ideal connection on that occasion for Gabbar. So it will only be a single down to mid wicket. This match is well and truly in balance. 120 for the loss of 5 PP developers after 10.3. They need another 61 in 33 deliveries. Required rate just over 11. Couple of hits in this over. Got that required rate just over 11. Well swept away. There's no one there in the fine leg. Does it have enough legs to go? Yes, it does. That's a boundary. Well, Srikanth now into the act. That was a poor delivery from Pushkar. He rarely bowls a loosener, but he did on that occasion, drifted down the leg. And Shapur Srikanth, he's a good batter, doesn't miss out on that opportunity. Beautifully sweeps him in the vacant fine leg region for a boundary. There's a change in the field. Now a fielder removed from the offside and placed in the square leg region, but no one still inside in the fine leg, inside or outside the circle. Well, that's a beauty from Pushkar. Sharp turn there, beats Srikanth on the cut. That's a dot ball, still an expensive one. Well, goes up and over and holds out in the deep. Well, Valluri Pushkar has the last laugh against Srikanth. Srikanth looking for that big shot, doesn't get the elevation right, hits it flat, straight to the fielder in the long off region. Himanshu, the man there in the deep, makes no mistake. So another one goes down for PP developers. They lose their sixth, 124 for the loss of 6 after 11 overs. Well, a wicket at the very last ball of the over gets Codearth back in the match in a good time. Well, the wicket of Gabbar holds the key here for PP developers. If Gabbar bats on the remaining 5 overs, he can get them over the line. On the other hand, Codearth 1 wicket away from the victory. Gabbar stands in the line of victory for them. Well, hits it straight, but doesn't get the connection right on that occasion. So it will only be a single for Gabbar to start off the over. This is good from Rishabh Dev. Gabbar was expecting something short into the surface. He went full. A bluff there. Gabbar not in the good position to hit down the ground. So only hits it for a single. New batter in is Vinu in at number 8 for PP developers. A length delivery, cut away off the back foot, looking for that quick single. They'll get it. Vinu gets off the mark with that single. 425 matches for Vinu, 5,417 runs, averaging just under 20. Very healthy strike rate of 133.82. He's a very capable batter. Vinu, these two needs to carry on from here on for PP developers. They they don't have much batting left in the tank, so lot relies on this batting pair. How long can they continue and how hard can they go without losing a wicket? Once again, a very full delivery against Bharat Gabbar. That's wide of long on. Will they chance the arm of deep fielder? No, they won't. They were interested for the second run. They ran first one hard, but they have to decide against it. So it will only be a single. Score moves to 127 now. 127 for the loss of 6 after 11.3. Full on the stumps. Beautifully lifted, but it will only be a single down to long off. 4 singles in this over. This is a very good result for the bowling team. Codearth, they'll take it any day. Once again, required rate goes over 12 after this quiet over. Bharat Gabbar on strike. 14 of 6 deliveries for Bharat. This time, beautifully gets underneath the ball and paddles it fine. No one there in the fine leg, so that's a boundary. That's beautifully done by Bharat Gabbar. Moved early, second guessed the bowler and beautifully scoops it in the vacant fine leg for a boundary. Well, they get the required boundary of the over. Still only 8 of the over. They need more. They need somewhere around 12 in the over. They have got 8 runs in this over. Last ball remaining. Will this go for a boundary? That's been beautifully sliced over the point. That's a boundary. Back to back boundaries to close out the over. They get 12 of that one. Bharat, you beauty. Gabba, you beauty. 12 runs off the over. 136 for 6 after 12. 45 needed of 24 at the required rate of 11.25. Rohit Singh now back into the attack to bowl the 13th over. He's been expensive in his second over. All in all, 2 overs, 37 for none for Rohit Singh. He's been expensive today, but he's a very experienced bowler. His captain trusting him. Well, he doesn't disappoints his captain and hits the target full and straight. Vinu swings but misses, and his middle stump has been uprooted. That's the seventh one down for PP developers. Vinu departs cheaply. 136 for 7 now. PP developers lose their another. Suresh Babbi in at number 9 for PP developers. 271 matches for Suresh. 872 runs, averaging over 10, strike rate 108.46. He can play a good hand. He's more than handy batter, low down the order for PP developers. Can bat, but what a match we had here at One Champion. This is the all important semi final of One Champion Plate Season 32. Codearth against PP developers. Well, that's been drifted on the pads, beautifully clipped away in the fine leg. Will they come back for two? No, they don't. Bharat Gabbar wants the strike. Bharat Gabbar having a strike there against Rohit Singh. He wants to have a crack at Rohit. That's a slow one. Bharat hits hard but doesn't get the elevation. Hits it all along the carpet down to mid wicket for a single. Well, keeping the strike doesn't pay off on that occasion, but Bharat Baba taking his chances. Only 2 runs and a wicket so far in this over. A length delivery played with the soft hands, and he'll get through for a single. This is good cricket from Suresh Babbi, handing over the strike to Bharat Gabbar, who is more capable batter. 23 of 9 for Bharat Gabbar, 42 needed in 20. Something magical needed off the bat of Bharat Gabbar to get them over the line. PP developers will be expecting something special from Bharat. Full looking to squeeze that one away. That's a Yorker, beautifully executed by Rohit Singh. Nothing much Gabbar could have done on that delivery. Tried to get it in between gully and point, but fails to do so. That's a dot ball. An excellent over from Rohit Singh. Only 3 runs of the over so far. Last ball of the over. Bharat swings but misses. That's a dot ball to close out the over. An excellent over, super over from Rohit Singh. 3 runs and a wicket of Vinu coming off that over. 139 for 7. Now 42 needed of 18 deliveries. Required rate now 14. For PP developers, things getting difficult for them. Only one bowler can bowl their full quota of 4 overs, so it will be Rinku Singh. He'll bowl, will bowl his fourth, 3 overs 19 for 2. Excellent first spell. Well, that's beautifully lifted over extra covers and will go for the boundary. Suresh Bobby with the boundary. That was very full outside off stump. He beautifully lifts it over cover point and gets that boundary. Much needed boundary for PP developers. They need more of that one. They need boundaries from both ends. They've got cover point inside the circle and deep extra cover outside the circle against Suresh. Full into the block hole. Suresh does well to keep it out but cannot get a single on that one. That's a dot ball. This is super comeback from Rinku Yadav as he did with the new ball. Balled exceedingly well with the new ball. Once again, very full, hit hard, but there's a protection behind in the long off region, so it will only be a single. Now strike is with Gabbar. 23 of 11 for Gabbar. Strike rate in excess of 200. His slowdown in last couple of deliveries hasn't got a boundary yet in last couple of deliveries as well. Change in a field. Extra fielder on the onside for Gabbar. They have got a fine leg to cover that scoop shot. Bharat Gabbar goes over extra cover, a misfield, completely misjudged by Rohit Singh. That ball was never going to catch, never going to carry to the deep fielder. Rohit Singh was charging in. He fumbled, and the ball goes for a boundary that spins away from the fielder in the deep and goes for a boundary, much needed boundary coming off the toe end of Bharat, who tried to lift it over extra cover, gets it to sweep a cover. 9 runs of the over. They need more. They need a boundary more in this over. PP developers. Bharat goes straight and gets out of the toe and taken in the deep. Well, Bharat has to go and he tried but gets it out of the toe. Safe catch in the deep. Barinder Preet Singh there in the long off makes no mistake, and that's, I feel, the final nail in the coffin for PP developers. So they played with the 10. So this will be their last wicket. Venkatarama Rao, the captain, making his way out to the center. This will be the final wicket in the tank for PP developers, and they need heck of a runs. 33 needed of 13 deliveries. 434 matches for Venkatarama Rao. 485 runs, averaging just over 5, strike rate 56.92 for Venkatarama Rao. He is a very accomplished bowler, but now has a job in hand with the bat. What does he has to offer? 33 needed of 13. Was that a final nail in the coffin for PP developers, or do we have a twist in a tail? Venkatarama Rao into the center, in at number 10. This is the final wicket for the PP developers as they played with 10 players. They were clearly a fielder shot while fielding as well. Now they don't have a wicket. Well, when Katarama Rao gets a boundary at the very first ball, a thick edge outside edge, no one there behind in the third man gets a boundary. 13 runs coming off that over, 152 for 8 now after 14 overs. So 29 needed of 12 deliveries. It's still not done and dusted for PP developers. They're not going down without a fight. Rohit Singh now to bowl out into his fourth over. Starts off with a length delivery. No foot movement for Suresh Babi on that occasion. Hence gets beaten. 29 needed of 11. They need a flurry of boundary. PP developers. Well, Suresh swings but gets it out of the toe. Long on fielder charges in for the catch, but that ball landed inside the inner circle, so no point that he could have catched that one. It's a dot ball, back to back dot deliveries to start off the over. Codearth, a wicket away from the victory. On the other hand, PP developers still need 29 of 10 deliveries. They only have one wicket in the tank. Suresh swings and finds the fence. Well, that stuck hard. That well stuck boundary from Suresh Babi gets that one wide of mid wicket, and that ball hits the boundary skirtings in no time. No chance for the deep fielder. It's a very long boundary, but still Suresh gets it in the gap and gets it for a boundary. Finally, a boundary for PP developers. Length delivery. Suresh looking to pull. Got that one high onto the bat. Ball moves into the covers for a single. They're taking a single now. PP developers. So the strike will be Venkatarama Rao. Strike will be with Venkatarama Rao, who's got a boundary at the very first ball that he faced. Strike rate of 400 for Venkatarama Rao. So now a third man. In fact, a deep gully, short third man inside the circle for Venkatarama Rao. Short third, point, covers, and fine leg inside the circle for Venkatarama Rao. Whereas gully, sweep a cover, long on, long off, and mid wicket outside the circle. What will Venkatarama Rao do? Will he look for single or will he go for the boundary? Well, Venkatarama Rao punches one off the back foot, so it will only be a single down to point. Happy to happy to give the strike back to Suresh Babi. Venkatarama Rao. So 6 runs of the over so far. Last ball of the over into the surface, cut away. It will be a single down to point. So only 7 runs coming off the 15th over. Good over from Rohit Singh. So 159. 159 for the loss of 8. 22 needed of the final over. Well, Shivraj into the attack to ball the final over. Shivraj was not introduced into the attack up until 15 overs. Is into the attack and will ball the final over of the match. Right arm leg break Shivraj. 274 matches for him. 309 wickets. Economy 7.62. Best figures of 5 for 20. This is a gamble that Codearth are taking. Introducing a new bowler. Shivraj is a very good bowler, but it feels like it's not a right option to go forward. A new bowler to bowl the 20th over starts off with a wide. Now 21. 21 needed of 6 deliveries. It's still achievable, but they need a boundary every ball from here on. PP developers. Well, that's a cover drive all along the carpet, straight to the short cover. That's a dot ball. A low full toss from Shivraj, and he gets away with that one. Suresh Babi Well, this time looks to sweep and gets beaten. Back to back dot deliveries. Now 21 needed of 4 deliveries. Equation getting even tougher for PP developers now. Well, Suresh looking for a biggie. Swings and misses. Well, at the moment, it's not mathematically possible. But if Coder doesn't do anything silly, once again tossed up, looking for the big shot. Hits it all along the carpet down to mid wicket for a single. Now they take the single. So 20 needed of 2 deliveries. Well, PP developers, as things has gone down, and Codearth will be mighty pleased with their effort. First, putting runs on the board in the all important semi final, then containing their opponent, getting wickets at the regular intervals. Venkataramarao looked for the big shot and he's been given out, stumped. Well, that's a wicket. Venkataramarao dismissed, and Shivraj gets a wicket of Venkataramarao. That's it. And PP developers are bundled out for 161, and it's Codearth who wins this match with a good margin of 19 runs. Match summary: Kodath winning the toss, opting to bat first, posting 180 for the loss of 8 in their 20 overs. In reply, PP developers they only have 16 overs to chase that out, only managing 161 for the loss of 9. Got bundled out inside the 16 overs. Congratulations to Kodath for winning this match by 19 runs, and the player of the match will be Rinku Yadav for his excellent spell of bowling. 4 overs, 32 for 3 makes him the man of the match. That's it from this match. Do catch us in the third match of the day.